Need more time there? Want some remodeling for your house or a fresh look? How about a new deck or screened-in porch to add livable space outside? Don't know who to call? Well, you do now. Call the professionals at R&R Remodeling. They've been serving the local community for 15 years. Ronnie and his crew can help you today. Call for a free quote, 252-286-4119, or visit R&R Remodeling on Facebook. R&R Remodeling, construction you can count on.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington. The following is an exclusive presentation of Pirate Radio, the voice of the pirate nation. This is Eastern North Carolina's longest-running sports radio call-in show. The Brian Bailey Show is on the air. The Brian Bailey Show on Pirate Radio is brought to you by
Bostic Sugg Furniture, East Coast Grading, Angus Grill, Greenville Auto World, Papa John's, Pepsi, Seared Chop House, Taft and Hagler, and by Tiebreakers.
And now, here's Brian Bailey.
Okay, welcome in on this Monday. A very special guest today. Head football coach Mike Houston is in the studio with us live at the noon hour as we talk Pirate football. East Carolina was scheduled to have the spring game coming up this Saturday, but because of some COVID issues, it's been pushed. I don't want to say canceled because you're still going to have a game. There's a little bit of confusion about that, and we'll talk more about that with Coach Houston. But now it's set for the 24th if everything stays on target. But Coach, first of all, welcome. You look good, like you've been out in the sun and working out with the players.
Yeah, at least we're outside practicing, so it's good to be back out on the field. But it's been a pretty busy spring so far. But
a lot of coaches really like the spring because there's not the pressure of the games. There's not the film work to do. It's basically just getting out there on the grass and working with the players, individuals, and that kind of thing.
Yeah, you really enjoy it, especially with a young team like we have. You enjoy the development, and you get to spend a lot of time with them, and you're not in a rush to get ready, for a game this Saturday or whatever, so you can take your time and really be deliberate with how you do things. So, yeah, I really enjoy spring.
You met the media last night after practice, and it seems like you said something to the effect that we're almost back to where we were before the shutdown. So that's good.
Yeah, and it's good and bad. I mean, it's you would be so much farther along if you hadn't had the shutdown, but at least we're practicing. Mm-hmm. Hopefully we can get some more guys back from quarantine before our last week next week, and that way we'll be closer to having our roster out there.
Man, it seems like we're getting closer to normalcy, and then we take a step back, right?
Yeah, that's it's not just within the football program; it's everywhere.
Right.
The virus is still out there, and I've been vaccinated. The vast majority of our staff's been vaccinated, and a lot of our kids have been, but a lot of them haven't been, and it's still there. And you're still having positives. We're still going through testing. You still have contact tracing and all that stuff. And it's just, I'll be glad when all this is behind us. Not just as a program, but period.
As a society.
As a society.
Yeah, exactly. Mike Houston live in the studio at the noon hour. We'll take our first commercial break. We'll come back. We'll take your questions or comments on our Facebook Live page as well. Coach Houston joins us talking spring football at East Carolina. Back with more after this.
Wait up. Papa John's has a new stuffed crust. Oh, we did it. All our tweets, DMs, and carrier pigeons worked. This ain't just stuffed crust. This is Papa John's crust. Stuffed.
Hey, Pirate fans, order the new Epic Stuffed Crust One-Topping Pizza for only $12. The new Epic Stuffed Crust Pizza is the MVP move for game day or any day. Place your order online at papajohns.com and sign up for Papa Rewards. Papa John's, the official pizza of the ECU Pirates.
There's no better time to drive away with a quality pre-owned car, truck, or SUV from Greenville Auto World. Greenville Auto World is your authorized rough country dealer. We specialize in lift and leveling kits along with custom wheel packages. Whether you're looking for ground clearance or enhancing the appearance of your vehicle, trust our team for your off-road experience. Greenville Auto World, 3840 South Charles Boulevard across from Hardee's at Bell's Fork, or online at greenvilleautoworld.net.
how much does the word reliable mean? Sure, all businesses describe themselves as reliable, and we certainly wouldn't expect any business to be unreliable, but when you take a word like reliable and make it your way of life, the entire core of your business, it tends to mean a little more. And it's something you have to show people, not tell them. At Delcor, we show it by being there the same day you call. We show it by simply doing outstanding work with exceptional products, a family-oriented work ethic, and genuine caring for all of our neighbors throughout Eastern NC. Because in a time of need, we know the first and the only thing you need is someone you can count on. That's why we only use equipment you can count on too, like a train comfort system. It's hard to stop a train. Delcor can have a new train comfort system installed in no time, or we can provide an AC tune-up to make sure your system is performing well. So will your system keep you cool all summer? Find out. Call us. We're Delcor, the service professionals. Reliable for over 4 decades. Visit DelcorInc.com today.
This is Martin Truex Jr., and as a NASCAR Cup Series champion, I love one-stop shopping. When I need fresh tires or fuel during a race, my pit crew takes care of everything. Off the track, I have an Auto Owners independent agent. They handle all my insurance in one place: car, home, life, and business. Get your own pit crew and find a local agency with Auto Owners Insurance.
This is Brian Smith with Town Insurance in Greenville. Call me today at 756-8300. Go Pirates!
Let us help you get back to business.
This is Donald Stocks
and Justin Judge of PIP of Eastern North Carolina.
We're ready to assist your business with branded PPE. Would you like face masks with your logo? We can do that. Plus custom social distancing signage.
Now is the time to ramp up your marketing efforts. Whether it's cutting edge, contactless, touchless marketing, or traditional direct mail, we can do it all.
We are PIP of Eastern North Carolina.
This is former ECU baseball player and mayor of Greenville, PJ Connolly, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of Pirate Nation.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show. Now, back to Brian.
All right, welcome back to our show. Taking your questions, comments on our Facebook Live page for Pirate Radio. Kenny Curlins wrote in and said he's looking forward to the show. 2 great Pirates and 2 great Dallas Cowboy fans. I'll take that in a heartbeat.
No doubt.
Yeah.
This is their year, too.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I always say that every year.
Of course. You got to. They got the quarterback signed.
Clip may turn our mics off.
Zeke is back, back to normal. Hopefully, we're gonna get the defense straightened out. Ready to make a run.
Let's show a little respect for the defending East champion
Washington football team.
They don't even have a name.
I know. That's what I always say. They don't even have a name.
But their initials are appropriate.
Yes, most certainly. Most certainly, if you switch them around a little bit. But anyway, Clip Brock's still our favorite producer, and we certainly appreciate all of your hard work. Mike Houston in his 3rd year as the East Carolina Pirate football coach. Take us back to your arrival and when you first stepped on campus and first met with the team, and just how far this team has come since this spring.
Oh, it's not even close. I mean, it's certainly come a long way since that first day. It was actually it's kind of depressing the first evening I met with them. I think 2 days after the NC State game to finish the season, and met with them in the team room on a Monday night. John Gilbert and I. And you could see it in their eyes and the way they carried themselves. They were beaten down.
Yeah.
And the facility was too. The facilities did not look first class. So now we got a pep in our step. We have a confident bunch. They're excited about the fall. Because they know we got a shot to do something this fall, and they've worked for that opportunity, and we've worked hard with the program inside and out. Cosmetically, we've changed the way our appearance is when people walk in the building, but I think the way our kids carry themselves around practice, around campus, you can see their belief. So come a long ways.
When you look at this football team and you think about the identity of it, it starts at quarterback with Holton.
Right.
Holton's been there for a while. You expect so much out of him, and sometimes we've talked about it before. Maybe he carries the whole town's weight on his shoulders. He shouldn't, but sometimes he does. But he looks like he's slimmed down some, and it looks like he really when he runs the football, he's really that much more effective.
Well, he's having a great spring.
Yeah.
I mean, and yesterday may have been the best practice he's had. We just finished film right before I came over here, and I felt it yesterday coming off the field just because he put the ball in some tight windows and really playing with a lot of confidence. His decision making has been very, very good this spring, and I'm excited to see him this fall. But he's probably down about 10 pounds really worked on his flexibility. I think that's going to help him not only from a ability to run, but it's going to help him from a stamina, durability.
I was out at practice. I think it was right after the announcement came that the spring game wasn't going to be played on the 17th, and the way it was worded. And the first person you walked over to was Holton, and he said, "I really wish they had waited because we're going to have a game." Because the guys reacted to that.
I wish they'd have waited until we were on the field before they put that out, so I could have explained it to the kids first. Because they all saw it, before we got on the field, and it was a little bit of a buzzkill for them. They get excited about that stuff. But, we got a lot of parents and families coming into town this weekend, had already booked their flights and everything. So, we're going to allow them to be at practice Saturday. And then the following Saturday on the 24th, we're going to have a spring scrimmage. And we're going to treat it like a game. And we'll have some fans and families there just to see the kids. And, we'll put a little wager on it for the kids and have some fun with it. But we'll let the media come out and have fun too.
Looking forward to that because even as a media member and getting a chance to come to the games this past fall, it was so different. I mean, how different was it for you guys on the field?
Well, after we kind of got into it and you got kind of used to it, it was fine because once the game starts, you get so just engrossed in the ball game in front of you that you don't really notice everything around you. But certainly, I've said it many times, that SMU game, if we had had a full stadium in that first half, they may not have come out of the locker room, for the second half. So
they didn't want to anyway.
Well, I mean, but you know what our stadium is like when we're on a roll. And it would have been suffocating. Yeah. And so I really look forward to getting back to that. Hopefully it's this fall. Hopefully we can get things under control in our state on a lot of levels. And that way we can have capacity crowds again.
It seems like at baseball games that we're getting closer and closer, even though, it's not full capacity, obviously, but there have been some pretty good crowds and you can hear the fans. And I think Cliff Godwin has said it a couple of times that, he thinks the fans have made a difference in a couple of games and they're on such a roll and they're playing so well.
They are.
But that's important for fans to get a chance to get back out there.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, I think it's, number one, it's great for the programs and great for the student athletes. But number two is I'm positive it's great for the fans too.
Right.
I mean, just mental health.
Positive.
Mental health. I mean, just to be able to get out and be engaged and enjoy something like that again.
Somebody has asked a question, says the running game started to look really good last year. Do you expect to see more smash you in the face type football this year? You're going to run it right down people's throats.
Well, I mean,
you hope to.
Yeah, I mean, that's
part of it.
We should be able to run the football effectively, but we want to be very balanced. I mean, like I said, if we can have Keaton and Rajay and the crew, really rolling in the backfield and Holton and the receivers doing a great job in the pass game, we could be a pretty dynamic offense.
The tight end position, it seems like you guys have really worked toward getting that tight end position involved more and more.
Well, when I got here, we didn't have one.
I know. They were all gone.
I've never put the depth chart up. I had one tight end in the program when I got here, so we've got a room full now.
Yeah,
so
I was going to say.
Yeah, we're using. We're going to be 11 personnel, virtually all the time. So at least one tight end in the game, and then some 12. With some of the guys we have coming in, you can see us in some 13 personnel in certain situations. So, we're looking to utilize the tight ends significantly in the run game and the pass game.
Talk about some of the guys that have changed positions for you guys, because I mentioned tight end, but one of those,
Jeremy,
he switched positions, and that's a key to try to, when these guys come to a program and you're trying to fit them in where they work out best, and sometimes you have to change some guys around.
Well, Jeremy, really he ended up at tight end just, more for
necessity, right?
More for the sake of the program.
Right.
And he's a great kid. He did, whatever I got to do to help the program kind of deal. Whatever, I just want to help the team. And so switching him back really I'm not going to say it's not good for the team because it is, but it's definitely the best thing for Jeremy. And he's looked very natural, right out of the gate defensively. And I think will be a very solid contributor this fall at the rush position.
He was fun to watch at South Central, and just the way he maneuvered on defense, and he was one of those big play type guys.
Yeah, and he's a smart football player.
Yeah.
So we can do a lot of things within our scheme with him.
All right, changing subjects. The high school football playoffs start this Friday. Are you guys allowed to go to any games yet? That's why I don't understand that.
There's some talented kids around this area, and obviously I live in the Conley district, and
you can't even go to a game.
No, I wanted to go see Conley Rose play, and I couldn't go. And so that's been weird.
Yeah, it has been. It's been a weird football season, the 7-game regular season, and some teams really got hurt by the COVID because they couldn't play their complement of 7, couldn't play 6, and some teams missed the playoffs because of that. Right. And that's really unfortunate.
And it's still the tough thing of, we signed last year's recruiting class, virtually without ever seeing those guys in person. And, it's still that way with this year's recruiting class is you're having to go completely off film. And so I will be glad when it opens back up. We're anticipating things opening up June 1 to where we can have kids on campus this summer. But I just look forward to being able to meet them, meet their parents, and you size them up. Are they taller than me or not? I mean, that's always been kind of my thing with some of those box players. Is if they're shorter than me, I don't know if we're going to sign them or not. But
was it you just said you hope you never have to do another Zoom?
Yes,
I thought it was.
Absolutely.
I thought it was. Aren't they awful? I mean, it's for media purposes. At first, it was like, well, this will be good, but after a while, it's like you just don't have any interpersonal contact with somebody, and you're sitting there, looking into a camera, and some people don't even look; they look around because they don't feel comfortable looking into the camera, and I can't imagine recruiting like that.
No, I mean, because it's just you're trying to see, and they are too. The recruits are trying to see. Is this a good fit?
Right.
And it's hard to judge, is it a good fit if you never meet in person? And if they don't see it in person, I mean, could you imagine, deciding what school you want to off of video?
Yep, exactly. I mean, looking at videos and virtual type, settings and that kind of thing. Right. But it's very, very difficult to figure things out. But hopefully we can get back, and as you said, June 1st. But it's just hard for me to believe that this whole high school football season has gone by and coaches can't,
right?
Because I always see an assistant or two, you or somebody out there at many of the games,
right?
And that's just what everybody does,
right? It's in your backyard. If I wasn't a coach, I could go to the game, but because I'm a coach, I can't.
That's just like at East Carolina now. If I go to a baseball game as a media member, I have to have my temperature taken, take a quick test, and then get a pass. But if I go as a fan with a ticket, I go right in. And I haven't figured out
that makes
what the difference is.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. How's that? Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, explain that to me. All right, let's go to another question to come in. Coach, can you talk about some of the younger guys in the program who could see the field more this year, some of the younger players?
Well, I think we got a lot of them. You look on either side of the football, offensively, I'll just think of a guy that I think has had 2 really good practices the last couple times out, Taji Hudson, former quarterback. We moved him to receiver. He is a big physical kid. Made a great play on a jump ball and a post ball yesterday in practice, and every day he's doing a few things more and more right, and looking more and more the part. And you got a lot of guys like that. Shane Calhoun, I think, is having a great spring at tight end. Had a big play in the red zone yesterday, but doing a good job in the run game and the pass game. Up front on the offensive line, Trent Holler was back, full go yesterday, and certainly a guy that I have high expectations for this fall. Excited about him. Defensively, I mean, and you could go just almost every position, but defensively, those young D linemen, this has been a great spring for them, and excited to see, kind of what they're going to develop into.
Yeah, those young defensive linemen last year, they grew up in a hurry, didn't they?
Well, they got thrown into the fire last year. At least, and it's kind of like Mason Garcia, our backup quarterback. I was talking to him, and he said, he said, Coach, half the time last year, I didn't know what the routes were when the ball was snapped. I promise those defensive kids were the same.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because it's just, you're not ready. Most high school seniors coming out are not ready for the volume of the playbook at the college level or the speed.
Yeah.
And so the good thing, though, is they all got to play. Mason now has experience. Those young D linemen, they're still young, but they're experienced. And so everything slows down for them. And so, even though last year was difficult at times because of those things, now we have a bunch of guys that have a lot of experience coming back, and they're going to be better served for it.
Coach Mike Houston live in the studio at the noon hour here on the Brian Bailey Show. We'll take a commercial break right now. We'll come back with more of your questions and comments on our Facebook Live page and more as we preview the upcoming spring football game scrimmage for the 24th after this.
Hi, this is Jeff Charles, and this is a Pirate Radio Sports Break presented by Ron Ayers Motorsports, north of the airport on Highway 11 in Greenville. The Pirates broke a 1-1 tie, erupting for 6 runs in the 8th inning and beat Memphis 7-1 yesterday, completing a 4-game sweep. Cliff Godwin's ball club is 26-5, 8-0 in the American. ECU has won 9 in a row. The Pirates have a 4-game series at Houston this weekend. Perfect Game has the Pirates ranked 5th this week. The Orioles lost to the Red Sox 14-9. The Yankees took care of the Rays 8-4 in 10 innings. The Nationals lost to the Dodgers 3-0. Clayton Kershaw 6 innings for the win. Sunday Night Baseball, the Braves lost to the Phillies 7-6. The Hornets lost to the Atlanta Hawks 105-101. Miles Bridges had 23 points for Charlotte. The Hornets are now 27-25 on the season. And the Hurricanes will host the Detroit Red Wings tonight. Face-off time will be at 7 o'clock. This has been a Pirate Radio Sports Break.
Hey Birdland, the game plan is set and we're excited to welcome fans back to Oriole Park. To prepare, we've made updates to our game day policies to keep everyone healthy and safe. Oriole Park will feature limited capacity pod seating, digital ticketing through the MLB Ballpark app, contactless entry, and cashless transactions. All fans are required to wear masks and no outside food or bags will be permitted. The experience may be different, but the excitement is the same. Learn more about our game day health and safety policies at Orioles.com/welcome back.
Let us help you get back to business.
This is Donald Stocks
and Justin Judge of PIP of Eastern North Carolina.
We're ready to assist your business with branded PPE. Would you like face masks with your logo? We can do that. Plus custom social distancing signage.
Now is the time to ramp up your marketing efforts. Whether it's cutting edge, contactless, touchless marketing, or traditional direct mail, we can do it all.
We are PIP of Eastern North Carolina.
Over 32 years ago, the Ronald McDonald House of Eastern North Carolina opened its doors as a place to help families stay together and close to the care they need when they have a sick child. With the addition of a second Ronald McDonald House inside the Maynard Children's Hospital, our need to serve is greater than ever as the medical community flourishes. Help us expand our mission of keeping families close as we grow to meet that need. You can show your support by making a donation to the Ronald McDonald House. Visit our website today at rmhenc.org for more information. Thank you for your support.
Hey Pirate Nation, this is Sam Jones, and we're open and here to serve you with some of the best whole hog barbecue, chicken, turkey, ribs, and homemade sides every day for lunch and dinner. There are 3 easy ways to enjoy Sam Jones barbecue. Swing by our drive-thru window or try one of our 2 curbside takeout options by calling in your order at 689-6997 or ordering online at samjonesbbq.com. We love Eastern North Carolina, and we invite you to come by and enjoy some great tasting Sam Jones barbecue today.
You're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show. Now, back to Brian.
Hi, welcome back on this Monday. Mike Houston live in the studio at the noon hour with us as we get you set for the rest of spring football, taking your questions and comments on our Facebook Live page. So get those in, and I'll pass them on to the coach. When you look at this program and what you've been able to do, in the 2 seasons, what's the thing you're most proud of?
Well, I mean, there's lots. I think probably the biggest factor is just the culture within the program, within the building. It's now such a positive family, they all pull for each other, help each other. I mean, even when we have our disagreements, what you're going to have,
right?
It doesn't linger, and and that carries over. I always said, you can talk about a lot of things outside of wins and losses, and really people don't really care about them a whole lot. But our team GPA is at an all-time high. Our APR is at an all-time high, and that's because of retention. That's because of performance in the classroom, but those things I do think directly correlate to positive culture.
And I think it's a program, too, that you want to see these guys do well in the classroom and do well outside the classroom and do things in the community, and we see them all the time.
And I think that carries over onto the field. And I think that's, and everybody saw, the glimpses last year, mid-season, into the season of what we could be and what we're becoming. And so it's still, you've been 2 years in. One of them was a COVID year, so it's still you're still building.
Right.
We're not where we want to be yet. We're not even close, but we're getting there.
And some of that stuff off the field we haven't seen lately just because of the COVID. But I'm talking about like Special Olympics each year and different things that the guys get out and do.
And this bunch, you want them out there. It's like DJ Ford. I had him talk to the media post practice yesterday, and I told them, I said normally I wouldn't have a new guy there, but he's so impressive. I wanted our fans to see him and meet him, and I feel that way about our roster. I wished that we could get this COVID thing out of here, out of Greenville, so that we could be more interactive within the community, and our fan base could meet in person more of the players.
Let's talk about some of the newcomers to your staff. Let's start with Coach Scott, Latrell Scott. And that's a big pickup. The guy goes from the head coach at Norfolk State and comes down here.
Well, and it's a guy that has been in the SEC, has been in the ACC, very experienced, ball coach, a great recruiter, just outstanding person. I think very solid addition to the staff in all facets.
He'll be the passing game coordinator. How does that work with Donnie as offensive coordinator?
Donnie's still the offensive coordinator.
Right.
It's just Latrell will have significant input in game planning, and he'll bring a lot of ideas. And you always like that, being able to bring someone in that has, maybe from a different tree, because they'll see things differently. They'll bring some different perspectives and different ways to do things. And you'll use some, you won't use some, but the evolution will be collaborative.
Yeah, and every time, three guys can look at the same tape,
right?
And three guys can see something different from that same tape, can't
right?
they?
And I think collaboration and dialogue is critical. And we kind of joke because Blake Harrell, Roy Tesh, and myself were all together at Lenore Ryan years ago, and when we first started, coming up with our defense and developing our defense, we used to have some knockdown, drag out, arguments.
Really?
But those arguments were where the evolution came from. Because you cuss and discuss kind of deal is how you figure out different ways of doing things, and you figure out what's best.
And I think that may be one of the problems in the world today, is that we don't have enough cuss and discuss. If you disagree with me, then I'm not dealing with you anymore, and you're not dealing with me. That's how the society is.
And that's I tell our coaches, that's their responsibility. They are responsible for bringing their opinion into anything. And we discuss a lot of things within the program in our staff meetings because I want their input. This is not a one-man show.
Right.
I want everybody to have ownership in it and everybody to have input. And so I think that's critical to finding the best path.
And it's got to be, I would say they've got to be honest with you on some things, and part of the maturity process of being a head coach is, you have to accept some of those things.
Sure. Yeah. And you're not always going to like it.
Right.
And but the thing, and that's when we leave the office, when we leave the staff room, we got to all be on the same page, and that's the most important thing.
Yeah, because the team has to see that unified group together.
No doubt.
Jay Kirkendall is your director of ops, and he's new coming in.
Done a great job. He was at Vanderbilt the last several years, at University of Tennessee before that. Just really excited to have him. Very detailed and hard worker, think outside the box kind of guy. So he's going to bring a lot to just supporting the players, supporting the program.
Those jobs are really difficult if you look at the things that they're responsible for.
Yeah.
And the least little thing, hiccup can happen.
Right.
But the really good ones fix that hiccup in a flash.
The best reference I got on him, and it's proven to be true, is you're never going to see him, but everything's going to always get done.
But that's good.
He works behind the scenes and gets the job done.
Yeah. All right, Tim Douse, your defensive end, outside linebacker, and special teams coordinator.
Yeah, again, another very experienced coach we brought in, has significant FBS experience, has been a defensive coordinator, has been a special teams coordinator in the ACC, so brings a lot of experience. Hard-nosed guy. He coaches them hard, and his kids are going to be physical, and he's another guy that's going to be very detailed with anything that he does. So is really bringing some great leadership to our defensive staff and our special teams.
How does he work with special teams? With is it first teamers that play on the special teams? Is it a mix of first and second? Is it
I tell them if unless the head coach, is keeping you off of it, like Holton, you're not going to see Holton covering kickoffs, okay?
But he could do it.
He could do it. But, I say unless the head coach, keeps you off of it, every player should be involved in special teams.
All right.
If you're an offensive lineman, you should be on the PAT field goal team. You should be in the shield on the punt team. All your defensive kids should be on the cover units. And we use a mix. So if it's a starter, then I have kind of a rule that they're not allowed to start on any more than 2 teams.
Okay.
Because Tyler Snead, he can start on all of them.
Right. He could.
But
you could wear him out in a heartbeat too.
So you just kind of limit how much, and that's really from a rep standpoint. But it's critical.
On a certain practice day, how much time is spent on special teams?
In the spring, usually about a half hour of meeting time, 20 minutes to a half hour of meeting time. And then, our pre-practice, is usually about 5-10 minutes of special teams. And then there's usually 15 minutes during the practice of special teams daily.
And you're one of those that believes that special teams wins your football games.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's some practices that are special teams themed, you'll spend a lot more time, but I think you've got to spend you got to spend time every single day in the kicking game. It's critical because it does make a difference. It made a huge difference last year. You look at the return game with Tyler Snead. What an impact that made all year long.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Jake Verity leaves you guys. What's the kicking situation look like?
Excited for Jake.
Yeah.
We're excited to see where he lands, but obviously we're losing, maybe the best kicker in school history.
Yeah.
At least statistically he was. But we've got a lot of competition right now. We've got Pat Nations and Owen Daffer that are competing right now, and we have a couple of extremely talented kids coming in this summer. So that competition is going to go all the way through fall camp.
Okay, so it'll heat up when August comes around.
Yeah, we've got a kid with a big leg coming in that he'll be right there in the mix of it.
Also losing Blake Prohl, what does that do for you?
Well, Blake had an outstanding season last year.
Yes.
So he's a guy that was always reliable, great hands, great route runner, and could take the top off the defense. So that's a significant loss. Excited for him too. Talked to him yesterday. Just his preparations are ongoing for the draft and where he's going to end up. But trying to replace him,
right?
Certainly, the guys on the roster are vying for those catches and that playing time. So it's created a lot of great competition.
What do you hear as far as the draft process and where they could go, like for Blake or Deontay?
I think Deontay has a shot to go in the mid rounds,
okay,
4th, 5th. You hope. I think Jake and Blake will be later rounds or a priority free agent.
Hey, as a kicker, you're really not expecting to get drafted.
No,
right?
Probably 7th round, if anything, and most likely priority free agent, which for those two guys, maybe better because you can kind of pick which team you go to, and you can kind of see which situation fits you best and gives you the best opportunity.
Yeah, and that's a real key, because if you get, even though a team drafts you, if it's not the right situation, well, if you go as a free agent, you kind of look around and you kind of pick and choose and at least have a little bit better chance there. Chris Foster, your running back coach.
Yeah.
And he inherited a couple of good ones.
Yeah, that certainly helped with attracting a quality coach.
I bet.
But I've known Chris for a long time. He has a great reputation within the Southeast as a recruiter. Has a great reputation as a ball coach, and he's a hard-nosed guy, high energy, and has done a great job already. But one thing that stood out to me about him in the interview process is looking at the job he did at Georgia Southern, which is a run-heavy team. His running backs had 3 turnovers in the last 3 years, and so you look at that. That's pretty hard to do. I think they had one fumble last year and 2 the year before, or something like that.
How hard is it when you're recruiting coaches like that, interviewing them? I mean, Greenville seems like it's one of those places that a lot of people would like to come to.
Yeah, and it's as a head coach, I've got kind of a list, and I keep a list, and I get to know as many people as I can, and you start making out your list, and you hope you can attract the guys at the top. And I would say I'm very fortunate that the 3 guys that were at the top of my list, those are the 3 I hired, and especially Latrell and Chris. Tim I've known for about a year now, and was impressed when I first met him, and then boy, he just blew us away during the interview. Just really outstanding job he did with that. So.
And the coaching fraternity is one of those odd ones because you battle these coaches, week in and week out, but then you meet and you know some of them, and then at some point when something does open up, you know how good they are.
Right. Well, that's Latrell. We played Norfolk State when I was at James Madison.
Yep.
And Latrell at Norfolk State called the offense, and I was impressed with his game plan. We won, but he did a good job of attacking our scheme.
And you would have played Norfolk State this past year.
But would have played them this past year.
But because of the COVID, we lost that game. Right. One of the several that you guys weren't able to play. But hopefully we'll get a full schedule. Can't you just wait for the first day of practice and it's on time and then?
That's a camp. Yes, I just wanted to get back to where it's not
COVID testing
and pauses, and I'm so looking forward to a normal season.
Now, once you're vaccinated, do you have to still test?
No.
Okay, so you're free from that.
So I'm done.
You're done. No more nostril journeys.
No doubt. That's worth getting the vaccine.
You're right.
I'm not tested anymore. They can't contact trace me anymore. You can still get the virus.
Right, you can,
but it's a very low possibility.
Right. Well, that's good. Well, congratulations on that. Mike Houston joining us in the studio. Let's take another commercial break. We'll come back with more of your questions and comments on our Facebook Live page and more Pirate football talk for the spring after this.
Hi, I'm Ken Hagler of Taft, Taft & Hagler. We're proud to be sponsors of the Brian Bailey Show and the Pirate Nation on Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation. If you've been injured on the job or due to someone else's negligence in an automobile collision, call us at 752-2000 for a free consultation with experienced professionals who care. Go Pirates!
First came the PCC location, then came the ECU location on Jarvis Street. Now introducing the newest store at 10th Street at the Food Line near Walmart. It's Angus Grill 3. 3 restaurants featuring all of your favorite burgers and more. They've got your classic Angus, steak burger, brisket burger, black and blue burger, sweet sriracha burger, jalapeno popper burger. You get the idea. Now with 3 options for the best burger in town. Angus Grill at PCC, Angus Grill at ECU, and now Angus Grill at 10th Street in the Food Line Shopping Center. It's Greenville's best burger, times 3.
North Carolina State Parks is proud to announce that they have partnered with the Hometown Strong program. Our visitor centers are now equipped with public Wi-Fi to help kids with school. Remote learning has become a critical public health measure in maintaining social distance and continuing to educate our young people. Take advantage of Wi-Fi and a hike at Goose Creek State Park or a day trip to the beach and access remote learning at Fort Macon State Park. For more information, visit hometownstrong.nc.gov.
At Tiebreakers, we pride ourselves on serving
big, juicy wings.
I'm talking
big and juicy.
Our chickens are the same ones that kick sand in the other chickens' faces. If our chickens played football, they'd be linebackers. The competition's chickens, they'd be
skinny little kickers.
Trade those kickers in for linebackers.
Tiebreakers is open every day at 11 a.m. Follow Tiebreakers on Facebook and Instagram for daily updates.
If you are push mowing your yard using an inefficient lawn tractor or your current zero-turn spends more time in the shop than mowing your grass, it's time you look at a Hustler zero-turn lawnmower. Residential mowers from Hustler are built like tanks and drive like sports cars. All Hustler mowers have fabricated, welded steel decks. Don't settle on cheap units with flimsy stamped decks from big box stores. Come see Ron Ayers Motorsports. It will guide you to the right mower for your property and your budget. Find us at Ron Ayers Motorsports, Highway 11, north of the airport in Greenville.
Hey, Troy, have you heard about The Place?
No, Jason. What place?
It's The Place. It's Washington's newest restaurant on the waterfront. The Place is located in downtown Washington in the Harbor District with waterfront seating in the back. We're open for bistro-style lunches Tuesday through Saturday from 11 to 2 and elevated comfort-style dinners Thursday through Saturday 5 to 9. Plus Sundays, we have the best Southern brunch in town.
Man, that's awesome, Jason. The Place sounds like the place to be.
It is. We look forward to seeing you there. The Place in Washington, North Carolina.
Pirate Radio.
It's important to me that we're able to connect the past, the tradition of East Carolina football, our current roster, and the future of what this program is going to be.
The voice of the Pirate Nation. You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show. Now, back to Brian.
All right, welcome back. Brian Bailey with head coach Mike Houston at East Carolina. And you guys have a busy summer coming up. If everything stays on course, you got camps coming up.
I hope.
Yeah, man.
What we're hearing is the NCAA is going to allow us to open back up June 1.
Okay.
And so we'd be able to have recruits on campus. And I think we've got six camps planned and a 7-on-7 tournament. So hopefully we'll be able to do all that in the month of June. And if all that goes through, we're also going to have our youth camp. I think the third week in June, and then we'll do our annual ladies clinic late July, right before preseason camp kicks off. And so I hope things keep tracking positively, so we can have those events and get back to a little bit more of normal with our interaction.
The ladies clinic has always been really popular because the ladies come out, and I think they get more of a kick out of running out of the tunnel and doing some of the stuff on the field than anybody else would.
We've only had one my first year we had it, and it was great. I mean, we really enjoy it. My wife and the other wives, they participate and help out with it, and to me that one's just a great give back to the community, interact with our fan base, let our female fans have an opportunity to do things that the guys we got to do when we were playing or whatever, but it was fun the first year. So
Coach Ruff used to have one and he did it a couple of years for men that wanted to do it, and I almost died the first year. I think I think that was a bad idea. But I'll never forget, Lincoln Riley is on the field and he's yelling out X's, Y's, and Z's.
Yeah.
And when you're doing it, and it's kind of like lining the slot and lining here, it's kind of cool. And then 6 years later, he's the head coach at Oklahoma, and I knew what he meant when he said go to the X, go to the Y, go to the Z. So, but all those clinics are a lot of fun, and basically it's informative. You guys are able to teach the young kids things about the sport of football, and if you get them interested in the sport of football early on and interested in the Pirates early on, sometimes you keep them for life.
Yeah, there's probably a couple here in the local area that I wished I'd had about 10 years ago. So.
Yeah, I bet. But so camps, you hope June 1st, and it just depends on how things continue to progress.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Yeah, but the vaccinations are out there, and hopefully folks, if they feel they're safe, because it's one of those things. I've read so much on social media and stuff that some people are so adamant against it, and so you kind of it's a personal choice, and you just got to decide what's best for you, what's best for your family. But I know we all decided as a family we wanted to get it. And we got it.
There's no doubt, and we didn't hesitate. Amanda, she got the Pfizer.
Mm-hmm. I had the Pfizer.
I did the Johnson & Johnson. Okay. So I did the one shot. She did the 2 shot. But it's just something we felt was important, just to protect our family and for me to protect my job. I mean, I think it's something where if I'm out for 3 weeks, that's going to significantly impact my ability to do my job.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that Coach Dooley really struggled with, with basketball, with not being able to. And obviously the rumors are out there, and we're still working. I put a call into Coach Dooley today. I haven't heard back yet, so we'll have to wait and see how that all plays out. But
one thing I hope people keep in mind is he has a family.
Yes,
and he's a human being like the rest of us. So I hope everybody just respects his privacy, and that he's got to do what's best for his family.
Yeah, exactly. Well said, Coach Mike Houston, joining us here on the Brian Bailey Show. When you think about the fact that you guys didn't have spring practice for 706 days, is that a crazy stat or what? I mean, think about how many days you went between spring practice here and spring practice this time.
And I don't ever go through it again.
Yeah,
because it wasn't a whole lot of fun, operating that way.
How depressing was it for you back in March last year when things started to shut down? Because it wasn't just Pirate football, but it was
everything.
Tournament, March Madness, the NBA, it was the NHL, golf.
I'm sure it was the same for everybody. It was unbelievable. You couldn't believe this was happening.
Yeah.
You couldn't, and then by the time you got a month into it and you're still talking to, all your players on your computer screen, and the mental health side of it's the biggest concern I had, and it's just it is reality. They are not going to train on their own the way they're going to train with you, and so during that pause of 10 days that we just went through, I mean, they come back and they just they've lost so much, and so it It was a tough time mentally and physically.
I'll never forget going out to see Holton in his house and doing the hillbilly workout.
Yeah.
But it was great video. It was a lot of fun to see him doing it. And as you said, I mean, they were working, but it's not the same as working with Big John.
Holton had that available to him.
Yeah.
Some guys don't have any resources, and so
it makes it even more difficult.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the offense coming back. 10 starters on offense and 10 starters on defense. So that makes spring practice go a little smoother too.
Yeah, when they're all out there.
Yeah, well, that's the issue that you're working with now because you don't have them all out there.
No, but that's the one thing I did tell the kids last week is you hear your players. I just need my shot. I just need a chance. They're getting their chance.
Yeah.
I saw Elijah Morris. You got his name written down right there, and
I love that guy.
Well, yeah, and
I thought he was great last year.
I didn't know that kid's name when he showed up.
Right. I remember talking to you about that last week. Year on the show.
Listen, I don't care who you are. You can be a walk-on scholarship. I don't care. The best guys are going to play. And it's an equal opportunity deal.
Yeah.
So anybody that ever says they don't get their chance in our program's a bold-faced liar.
All right, let's talk on offense. We'll go to Elijah in just a few minutes. But your running backs, I mean, obviously you're gifted right there.
I love
those two.
I love them. I think they're two of the best in the league. Rajay Harris and Keaton Mitchell, and I think they're 1-2. They're both talented. We signed a very talented kid out of Alabama, Pop McKay. He's actually going to be on campus this weekend just to come to. He and his parents come just to see everything. But I'm excited about that room.
Is it hard because you have those two? You have the kid coming from Alabama. You're recruiting. I know some that you can't talk about, but is it hard to juggle everybody?
Well, I mean,
can you have too many?
No,
I didn't think so because of injuries.
Well, I mean, you look. There's a certain school just down the road that we're competing for a running back with, and I looked at them. They got 7 on their roster right now, and they just had 2 go pro. So you can't have too many.
Right.
And it is hard to recruit. This past year with those 2, but Pop didn't flinch. Now it'll start to space itself out with this next recruiting class because Rajay and Keaton are getting older. So we've got to sign a couple of high-end guys this year.
Talk about the offensive line a little bit coming back because that's a group that Steve Shankweiler's worked with, and it looks like I've been out there a couple of times, and they look like it just seems like they know more about what's going on than they have in the past.
We're the best right now on the offensive front that we've been since I got here, and that's we didn't have Deontay last year. He missed the whole season,
right.
So that hurt. But even with a guy that caliber gone, still you're getting better and better, and you're getting more and more depth across the board. You see the young guys coming along, whether it's Walt Stribling, Nashad Strother, Trent Holler. You see the veteran guys that continue to improve. Sean Bailey, Fernando Fry, Bailey Malovic, Avery Jones. You're hoping that Noah Henderson will be able to come back and play again. And if we can get everybody back and everybody healthy, I think we've got a chance to be pretty good up front.
How about your receiving core? Now, you're losing Prohl, but still you got a bunch of good guys coming back, good players.
Well, I mean, Tyler Snead, I think he's one of the best in the league.
I do too.
I think
pound for pound, he is by far.
Pound for pound, he may be the best player in the program, and he can do it all.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a great return guy, and kickoffs, punts, slot receiver. He does everything. I promise you, he could flip over and play in the secondary on defense. But and he thinks he is. He thinks he's the best out there, and he thinks he's.
You gotta like that.
Yeah. Well, you love that confidence.
That's right.
So. Yeah, and then CJ, I'm excited for him. He had a good practice yesterday. I think the ceiling for him is very, very high.
Right.
And I know that he's a little disappointed in his season last year. So he's a guy that if we can get him going, that brings a lot. Audio Matosho has had an outstanding spring. I think he's poised to have a very good season this year. J.J. Johnson is a guy that's been a kind of a career special teams guy, and he's having a good spring. So, excited to see what he's able to do. I'm frustrated a little bit with Andre Pegues and Tyler Savage have missed a lot this spring with some of the COVID stuff, and so I'm frustrated with that because that's two guys that really needed to have a good spring just for their development. But we got a shot. We got a shot to be pretty good in that room.
How hard is it to be patient with players like that? Because it's not their fault.
No.
And but they've got to get the reps.
They got to get, and that's the thing that I keep stressing to them is if you're getting worse every day that you miss, and so, but they know that, and they want to be out there as bad as anybody. So that's why it's so important that we do a great job with protecting our roster against the virus.
All right, 10 starters return on defense. Your top 8 tacklers return, and I wrote some names down. Start with Elijah because, as you said, you didn't know his name last year in the season.
I called him 60.
Yeah, that's right.
He was wearing jersey number 60 during preseason camp, and all right, 60. That's a good job right there. And we joke about it now, but you love those stories.
Yeah,
I remember after the UCF game, I'm leaving. This is a couple hours after the game, and as I'm pulling out, I see him in the parking lot. And his parents are over there. And that's the first time I met his parents. And I stopped. I wanted to tell them just how proud I was of him. But love that kid.
That's a great story. And, some players just seem to always, even on defense, be around the football.
Yeah.
I mean, it seemed like every time something big would happen, balls loose, he's the guy coming up with it.
Well, he's tough. He's always in the right spot. He's got a great motor. He's strong. He ain't the biggest in the world. But he finds a way to make plays.
Is he getting bigger? Is he getting stronger?
Well, I mean, God's the only one that can make him taller.
Well, that's true. He may have reached the ceiling on that deal.
Yeah, but no, he's a guy that's going to work hard in the weight room, so he's going to develop his body.
He was third in the nation in recovered fumbles with 3. So that just shows you. I mean, you recovered 3 fumbles from his position.
Yeah, I mean, he's in the dead middle. I mean,
right.
usually he's got 2 big guys on him, so.
Yeah, that's a tough deal. Jaquan McMillan, he's 6th nationally in interceptions, and he's around the ball. Yeah,
another one. I mean, J-Mac and Malik. I've told that's my two gun dogs right there. I mean, those two, they're not real big, but they're as tough as anybody on that field. And really, their demeanor and just the way they are as players, they're kind of identity guys. They play the way we want our team to play. They're tough. They compete. They don't back down from anything. Glad he's back.
Yeah, when you look at this defense, what's the ceiling on how good the defense can be? What does Blake
think we can be really good.
Yeah.
We run better than we did last fall. Part of that's maturity and development. Part of that's personnel. You got some new guys back there. I said it a few weeks ago after that 5th practice that Saturday morning is, one thing I know we'll do, we'll hit you. Now, we'll hit you right in the face now. So we've got kind of that. That wasn't definitely not there when I got here, but they don't back down from each other.
Yeah, I would think that knowing the defense with another year. I mean, you bring a new defensive coordinator in, everything starts from scratch as far as that goes.
Yeah,
and defense is one of those things where you don't want guys thinking.
No,
you want them reacting.
And Blake does a lot of stuff. I mean, he's very diverse and he's very aggressive. So we play a variety of coverages. We pressure a lot. And we move a lot, which the kids love it, and just the culture on that side of the ball with the way they play. It's so much energy and so much passion. So it's I'm excited for this bunch.
I would say too that's one of the things that was missing last year at Dowdy-Ficklen without the fans. I mean, when that defense steps up and it's 3rd down and the bells are going off and everybody's fired up and 4th down, big plays, and you just don't. And I know defensive players, they have to feed off of that.
Oh yeah. And that we had that with an empty stadium last year. So it'll be just phenomenal with a full stadium.
All right, Mike Houston joining us here on the Brian Bailey Show. We'll take our final timeout of the afternoon, and we will wrap things up with Coach Houston coming up after this.
Seared Chop House is Greenville's newest restaurant and the city's only true chop house. We combine a remarkable menu with an unrivaled atmosphere. Seared, a quality-driven experience highlighting a thoughtful approach to locally sourced ingredients and hearty, flavor-rich cuisine. We're firing up the grill at Seared, Greenville's only true chop house. Come see us, Fire Tower Road at Bells Fork or SearedChophouse.com.
Hey, Eastern North Carolina, this is Miles Minges.
And this is Landon Minges with Minges Bottling Group.
We are proud to announce that Pepsi is once again the official soft drink of the ECU Pirates.
That's right, Miles. Our family's purple and gold roots run deep. From founding members of the Pirate Club, alumni, and even a team physician, our support over the last 60 years has never wavered. We are Pirates.
We're excited to be back at ECU and are honored to serve our great customers throughout Eastern North Carolina. Not only is this the birthplace of Pepsi Cola, this is our home.
Cheers, Pirate Nation.
I like the sound of that.
Support local, drink local, stay safe, and drink Pepsi.
Save during Bostic Sugg Furniture's Spring Styles event. Freshen things up, make a statement, and make it exciting. Save on new looks, new colors, new styles. We have so many beautiful ways to update your home. Explore our 35,000 square foot showroom. From name brands like Bassett, La-Z-Boy, Rowe, Kincaid, and Restonic, get up to 15% off plus 6 months special financing, or get special financing for 48 months. Step up your style right now at Bostic Sugg Furniture.
East Coast Grading and Utilities is your source for clearing, hauling dirt, and concrete work. East Coast Grading and Utilities handles all sewer and water issues as well.
I'm David Vaughn. Whether putting in a new subdivision or helping you with any and all of your drainage problems, I can get the job done. Call me at 531-7494.
No job is too big or too small. East Coast Grading and Utilities. Friends helping friends. 531-7494 for East Coast Grading and Utilities.
In studio today with Tony Edwards from AG Home Solutions. And Tony, you love to help people remodel spaces or even do new construction.
We do, and we also can help people find financing when they want to do projects like this. And so we partner with folks like Joey Barrow with Annie Mac Mortgage.
And Joey's in studio with us as well. And Joey, people have a lot of financing questions to be able to help reach the home of their dreams, whether it's remodel or new construction.
No matter how large or small the project may be, we have options for you. Even if you have credit concerns, we provide guidance to help you get the home of your dream or turn the home that you currently have into the home of your dream.
Joey, how can folks get up with you?
You can call us today at 917-8400, or you can go to our website at greenville.annie-mac.com.
And Tony, what about if people have renovation questions? How can they get up with AG Home Solutions?
You can contact us at 947-2526 or check out our website at aghomesolutions.com.
Thanks again to Tony Edwards from AG Home Solutions and Joey Barrow from Annie Mac Mortgage joining us today.
This is Mike Houston, head football coach at East Carolina University, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show. Now, back to Brian.
We got you on tape. We got you live. How about that? Mike Houston live in the studio with us during the noon hour here on The Brian Bailey Show. I got about 3 or 4 minutes to go in our show. Appalachian State's on the clock. How much do you guys talk about that already?
We've already begun preparations, and we were watching film last week, and they're going to be good. I mean, I expect them to be, if not top 25, they'll be right on the cusp of it. So they're returning a lot. So it'll be a great matchup for us.
Yeah, and that's just going to be so much fun for everybody. Shut
Bank of America Stadium.
Shut Greenville down. Night. Yeah, head to the stadium. Head to the home of the Panthers, and on a Thursday night, national television. Yeah. And that's going to be I just hope we all get through it and everybody's COVID free, and we get a chance to gather at the big stadium for what should be a great football game between two in-state rivals, Appalachian State and East Carolina. All right, Coach, what do you guys do? You got this week of practice. What are you working on this week?
Well, big get ready for Saturday deal, because it's going to be we're going to treat it a game simulation kind of deal this Saturday with a scrimmage. So a lot of work special teams wise, kickoff return. We want to get some live work with that. We've already got punt and red black our punt return unit in, and then a lot of red zone, short yardage goal line situation work Tuesday and Thursday to get ready for Saturday. And then Saturday I'm gonna send the coordinators up top and split sidelines and throw the ball out there and let it go. So we're gonna try to get probably a 100 play scrimmage in Saturday. That would be good.
Okay, then you'll look at the film, revamp on that next week, and then have the big finale.
A little bit of the same thing next week. And that's the thing is you're getting now. I was talking to Blake before I came over here, because you're putting stuff in really fast right now to make sure we get it in and get it on film this spring, so we have that film for this summer. But there'll be a lot of install the next 2 weeks.
What are some of the position battles that you want to keep an eye on over the next 2 weeks?
There's a lot. The receiver position we talked about. That's heavy competition going on right there. backup quarterback. I mean, I think we got to figure out who's 2, who's 3. So I think a lot of competition there. The safety room has a ton of competition, and it's really raised the level of our play because of all that competition. So it's everywhere.
And then you have all these competitions, and then whenever you guys get back together in August, some of those other competitions will ramp up, right?
Yeah. I mean, we talked about the kickers, kicking and punting. That competition is going to go all the way through preseason camp before we get to that opener.
Does it make you a little nervous when you're working with new kickers and that kind of thing?
It makes me nervous working with kickers, period.
I was going to say that. But Jake was pretty level-headed most of the time. He was about as good as you can get.
Jake was great. I've been very fortunate that we've had really quality specialists everywhere I've been. So, but it's going to be a great competition. We got some talented kids, so they just got to figure out who's the guy.
Yeah, and as you said earlier, special teams are so important. They can make or break you, and you really just got to be on top of your game. All 3 sides of the football, as some have said, because it's very, very important. When you guys get back together in August, or after you finish up spring ball, you give the guys off a week or so, and then they come back and start with summer conditioning.
Yeah, they'll start back mid-May with Big John,
okay.
and then they do allow us to have some contact with them throughout the summer. So we'll work with them a couple days a week throughout the summer, and then give them a little bit of a break there late July, and then we'll start fall camp, I think August 2nd or 3rd, something like that.
August 2nd or 3rd with the normal start of fall camp. Hopefully. Boy, keep your fingers crossed on that one. That'd be great to just get a chance to get normal again. I swear I promise to you and I'll promise to everybody else, I will never complain about standing out there waiting for the coach to get over there for interviews because sometimes it's hard, sometimes you're waiting and you guys run a little long, but man, I miss that so much. Just being out there, watching a little bit of practice and doing the interviews and just being, in person, one-on-one. And it's just, man, we just got to get this thing back, get it back to normal.
No doubt.
Yeah. It'll be fun. Coach, thanks so much for the hour. We certainly appreciate your time. It's been a lot of fun.
Having me on.
It's been a lot of fun. Mike Houston joining us on this Monday. We'll see you back here next week on the Brian Bailey Show. Have a great week, everybody.
This has been the Brian Bailey Show, brought to you by
Bostic Sugg Furniture, East Coast Grading, Angus Grill, Greenville Auto World, Papa John's, Pepsi, Seared Chop House, Taft and Hagler, and by Tiebreakers.
Join us next time for another edition of the Brian Bailey Show, exclusively on